Hello, everyone. Here we are with our weekly market report for Calgary, and obviously we're going to share some numbers for the month of July as well. But today's video, we're trying to focus on something that is really important to most of you, and that is the current normal of real estate market. So just because we wanted to give you all the information and want to make sure that you make a very informed decision if you are thinking to buy or sell real estate. So let's start with the uncertainty that we're dealing with, first of all, because it is impacting us from basically every side right now. And obviously it's going to have impact on our economy. And the problem that we have uncertainty, but at the same time, the situation is very unpredictable right this moment. So we know just because of that, Bank of Canada made a decision to hold the interest rate last Wednesday. So it is still at 2.75. Obviously, the banks are offering somewhere close to about 4% on mortgage rates right now. But the decision was not easy for Bank of Canada. And obviously, they had to consider everything. And at the same time, usually they are there to predict actually what's going to happen and make those decisions based on their data and everything. But right now, because of the uncertainty, at the same time, the situation that we're in right now, that it is very unpredictable, and they just held the rate at 2.75. So obviously, a lot of renewals are coming up. And one thing I really wanted to make sure, and we will talk about when it comes to numbers as well, and that is that a lot of people think that, this interest rate is really high. Actually, that is the kind of normal interest rate that we had before COVID. So keep that part in mind. The interest rates during COVID were historically low interest rates. We're back at where the normal interest rates are. And obviously, even if there are any rate cuts, there could be just one, maybe most likely one, or we might not even see any interest rates as new reports are coming out because of the uncertainty. So keep that part in mind. So now, as a buyer and a seller, you have lots of decisions to make. And you know what? It is not an easy situation right now for anybody. And even as a realtor, as I mentioned before, that we look at every and each situation, and that's how we guide buyers and sellers right now. So the new normal right now that we're facing is that the inventory is rising. So the inventory levels have gone back up to pre-COVID in Calgary. So our inventory levels are pretty much like 2019, 2018, so inventory levels are there. Prices are still high. They're getting adjusted, and buyers are still confused. What should we buy now or not? So each and every one of you, if you do find a good deal, then you can definitely go for it. I mean, obviously there are still some people that are negotiating, and I'll give you one example. That a double detached home in Skyview just got sold for $600,000 a couple of days ago. Keep that in mind. It was about 1,900 plus square feet. So the new normal for buyers is that, and for the sellers, you have to adjust prices. You cannot sell and expect actually that the property is going to get you money that we had even a year or two ago. It's not going to happen. There are a lot of properties in the market. Buyers do have a choice. If you get somebody who's serious and who's willing to buy your property, make sure you are a bit more adjustable, adjusting your prices and expectations. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy. So we are back at inventory levels. Prices are still not going to be, I don't think actually prices will go down as far as we expect. But obviously the negative impact of all this uncertainty is on real estate market. So if you are thinking to buy or sell, you both have the opportunity as a buyer or seller to adjust to the market and make those decisions. Now, I want to discuss with you guys about the monthly numbers. We know inventory has been going up, but here's one thing that I see, that the market is getting affected a lot more in the northeast side of Calgary than any other side. So when I looked at numbers, I was quite surprised that in some of the community districts, real estate districts, that there were 70% of the properties that were hitting the market were selling, but Northeast we are just pretty close to 42%. So I'm going to give you guys numbers today, and I hope that really helps you. Obviously, the benchmark price is down. It is at 582,900, which is down by pretty much 4%. Compared to last year in July. Sales were down by more than 11%. They were at 2,099, almost 2,100. New listings rose actually to 3,911 new listings that came into the market. There was an increase of 8.6%. Inventory rose to 6,917. That was an increase of 66%. And months of supply, it has passed 3 months. It is at 3.30%. That's an increase of 87.9%. And days on the market has increased to 37. That is an increase of 56.8%. Now, keep this part in mind that a lot of investors came from Toronto and BC and invested in Calgary in brand new homes. We're seeing an influx of inventory in new communities more than any other community in Calgary. So new communities have more inventory available compared to other communities, just because a lot of investors invested in those properties and want to sell them now and want to get out of the market. Now, in this second picture that you can see right here, this is the benchmark price across Calgary, and you can see basically that the biggest change that we're seeing here is in the East District, which is about 7.4%, and the Northeast side, which is about a decline of 7.2% to 494,400. But if you look at the other areas, West is at about 2.3% decline, and Northwest is about 2.7% decline. Even North is at about 5.8%. So the biggest decline that we're seeing is on the Northeast and East side. The other sides are still faring really well. Now, let's talk about the total sales. As I mentioned before, in Calgary, sales have declined by almost 12% to 2,099 sales. That is a decline of almost 12%. New listings have gone up by more than close to 8.6% by 3,911. Months of supply has increased by 87.88%. Sales to new listings ratio has come to 53.67%. That is the average for Calgary, which is down by more than 12%. And benchmark price in Calgary has come down to 582,900, which is a decline of almost 4%. Now, out of all these, I just wanted to touch base a little bit about detached homes, because that is our biggest category. And in that category, sales were down by pretty close to 6% to 1,031 total sales. New listings were at 1,888. That was an increase of 9.70. Months of supply has gone up to basically about 2.99 months. That is an increase of 67%. And the benchmark price, now we're seeing some decline, is at 761,800, which is a decline of almost 1% compared to last year. Apartment sector is the one that is struggling the most. That's where the decline in sales is by more than pretty close to 23%. And we're seeing quite a bit new inventory coming into the market. And obviously the prices are more actually hit in the apartment sector and row houses. So those two are basically struggling quite a bit. Most of the time, people don't like to buy condos, and that could be part of it, that they are trying not to get into the condo market. Now, this is the picture I wanted to share with you guys here. As you can see, this is about detached homes. That Northeast side is only seeing sales to new listing ratio is about 42%. But if you look at Northwest and West side, they're both above 70%, and even South is about above 60%. But the average in Calgary is about 54%. close to 54%. So, and when it comes to apartments, Northeast is even struggling further than that. Nobody wants to buy apartments in the Northeast. That is, sales to listing ratio is only at 30%. Where some of the other sides, like especially North side, saw about 71% sales to new listing ratio, but Northeast is struggling quite a bit. And I want to give you guys a little bit of snapshot about some communities around Calgary. And the slowest community right now that is performing, that is Chestermere. But always keep in mind, the house prices in Chestermere are much more higher than any other community around Calgary. And that's where they only had 34% properties that came into the market got sold. City of Calgary was at about 54%, Airdrie was at about 52%. But Foothill region has been doing really well. Even in the past reports, you might have noticed that their sales ratios are about 74%, and right now Wheatland region was at about 78%. So those areas are doing really well, there is no doubt. And now let's talk about our weekly numbers. As we know that things have changed quite a bit. In the past week, we had 770 new listings that came into the market. 84 were back onto the market. 713 properties saw price decrease. Now the new listings and price decrease is getting quite close. 16 properties saw price increase. 481 properties were pending. 521 properties got sold. 258 properties expired. 10 properties were drawn, and 272 properties were terminated. So as you know what a lot of people think that real estate is a very easy thing, but the right decisions can actually make a huge difference in your life. It can make it easy, or it can make it very difficult. And we're here to guide you. If you think you need any assistance with real estate, even if you need to discuss anything, please give us a call at 403-689-2345, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you.